What up, YouTube? Good morning. How we doing today? Happy Friday. We are Actually, I'm not even sure this is gonna post on Friday. This will probably post on Friday. Yes. We are looking at some Rush. So some of these, I just run through lists of things that people send me. So Rush is catching up, and I'm glad it is. We did some songs on live stream, and I've done a few songs here on the channel. But I'm very, very new to Rush. So right now we're looking at subdivisions, urban housing developments. We got a song for it. Do me a favor and go like, go subscribe. Please go support Rush. All their stuff is super intriguing, super interesting. Just because I never heard it like ever, and it's different, but it's really, really, really good. So yeah, go show some love. Go like, go subscribe, please. We got a 3-part group. They're Canadian. I think they probably grew up somewhere near some subdivisions in Toronto, right? Am I right there? Maybe. But yeah, go show some love. Love to have you guys here as well. Make sure you like, comment, make sure you're subscribed. I appreciate it very much. It does help the channel. Yeah, best way to get me is on Patreon for requests like this. Just jump over there, shoot me a DM. It's just easier for me than I do read all my comments. So definitely drop a bunch of comments. I will read them all. If I see something appear, more often than not, I'll get to it regardless. But I have thousands of videos, and going back to look at all the comment sections after a day or two is kind of tough. So help me out, and Patreon's free. It keeps everything in one place for me. So anyways, let's get going here. We got Rush, Subdivisions. Dude, oh, he was about to start singing. My bad. I love their intros. They just this one is especially like it's got this like kind of nostalgic kind of sitcom feel to it, doesn't it? Just with the keys. And man, some of these I'm pretty sure I had this station wagon, or my stepdad did growing up, and we always rushed to the car to sit in the way back, because you face backwards in some of these models. Anyways, I'm sorry. Let's. I do have lyrics pulled up, by the way. I will be following along and as best as I can. Interestingly put, because that's what it is. It's literal, but it's also kind of somewhat metaphorical. Sprawling on the fringes of the city in a geometric order, right? How subdivisions are sort of just manufactured and set up in such a way that it makes sense to stack them kind of on top of each other, but they all kind of look the same. An insulated border. So now that's commentary on like almost like interaction within, right? It's insulated. Not, I mean, technically there might be fences around it, but that's not what he's saying, I think. And the far unlit unknown. It's almost like you're in some ways captive to your subdivision, just by way of how it's sort of set up, and there's probably some sort of hierarchy. But anyways, we keep going. I love his drum kit. Every time I see him, man, it just makes me happy. Just it's just a lot, and it's so good. He uses all of it too.
Growing up, it all seems so one-sided. Opinions all provided. The future pre-decided. Detached and subdivided in the mass production zone.
Yeah, okay. I might have to tear these lyrics apart a little bit. So, growing up, it all seems so one-sided. Opinions are provided, which is not just commentary. It's almost like using a subdivision as, and I'm not sure. I mean, this could apply at any point in time. It could apply now, but using a subdivision as a metaphor for almost society as a whole. We're talking about opinions provided. Basically, you don't really get to have your own opinion, so you're on the outside, but you're technically on the inside, which is interesting for for your artists and your dreamers. Um, Detached and subdivided, right? So there's a double meaning in the title here. Subdivisions. Obviously, we know what that means literally, but division, uh, the division that people are inherently divided. If we're talking about like, yeah, we're talking about some sort of like societal hierarchy, but within a subdivision, which could be applied at a macro scope too. Let's go. I didn't even see that line before I said that, but nowhere is the dreamer. Interesting. Dude, I love that. That's the chorus, yeah. Subdivisions. Is Alex, right? That's his name. So I didn't him and Getty recently. They're gonna tour again. They're touring again, right? Like, didn't they just like am I way off? Didn't we just get like an announcement that they're gonna like do some shows? That'd be really cool to see. Even though I don't know the majority of their catalog, but I love that line. Subdivisions. In the high school halls, in the shopping malls, conform or be cast out. And you show, again, I said the word dreamer, and they used misfit here as well. So alone. Again, it's your sort of outcast mentality and talking about your typical places where everyday people go and organize, your shopping malls, your school halls. And not being a part of that. So the subdivisions as a metaphor here, I love that. Super cool. I'm sorry, I have to dive into these. It's a reaction channel. I pause. I'll go back and listen to the whole thing without me messing it up. Any escape might help to smooth the unattractive truth, but the suburbs have no charm to soothe the restless dreams of you. That's just poetic, man. That speaks exactly to what we're talking about here. Um, I'm guessing. I'm guessing that this was that did Neil was responsible for writing a lot of the lyrics, right? Is this one of his as well? I don't know. I didn't look it up, but anyways, love that. All of this, this being, and it's crazy how it all sort of still stands. Everything that they're saying. sorry, video games have come a long way. Um, dude, those some of those cars, man. This is just like I'm not old enough for this to feel super throwback for me. This is just before like my time with just some of the scenery and some of the stuff going on. But I wanted to let that sequence play. It all kind of comes full circle and speaks to kind of what we were talking about. Um, and I'll get to the lyrics like in my overall kind of perspective in a minute here. But yeah, dude, I love the writing on this one. Drawn like moths, we drift to the city, the timeless old attraction. Cruising for the action, lit up like a firefly just to feel the living night. Just mindless drones heading to the city, just chasing lights around like idiots. Um, some will sell their dreams for small desires, or lose the race to rats. Love that. They got bars. Um, got caught in ticking traps and start to dream of somewhere to relax their restless flight. Somewhere out of memory of lighted streets and quiet nights. Subdivisions. It might be my favorite, just because it's just kind of it just sneaks in here and there. Subdivisions. Um, high school halls. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So back to the chorus again. Yeah, I kind of love this joint. I feel like I need to buy like a vinyl or a few of them. Maybe greatest hits if there is one of them, and just run it for a while. It's I love the keys on this. Weirdly, like it has this again. It has this like kind of sitcom feel to it. And it's we have the bass line's fantastic. All the instrumental is always crazy good with these guys. But the lyrics are what's the whole damn song's like a metaphor for something larger than a subdivision. If we didn't, I'm pretty sure, unless I'm completely misreading it. Um, but no, anyways, yeah, let's go. Dude, live shows too. I need to go watch some of those. 1981. That was before my time. All right, let's get back into lyrics here. First of all, I love the song. Love the song. More I hear of them, the more I love their stuff, and I haven't heard much. Um, so it's commentary, like interestingly, like yeah, yes, it is based off your kind of your suburban, lifestyle. But they're talking about like first of all, like just pattern development, this geometric order, and it's like the commentary is on your how within that system there is still like some sort of like at least some sort of social divide, where I don't know if it's there's always going to be, for lack of a better term, like your cliques or your different your different sort of groups that sort of semi-establish themselves, just by types of people. But also you can look at just straight division variables, income, and just tangible shit. What cars are in your driveway? You're so I mean, there's a lot that goes into that. But it's weird how within that, like things like that, like your income or your total wealth or even your education, or these are divisive elements. That they're sort of like quiet tools used in a system to sort of uh, separate people and whatnot, which can then lead to like isolation for those, or some sort of like alienation. And again, my mind's just going with these lyrics, so stop me if it doesn't make any sense. Oh, you can't because you're not here. So I'm just gonna keep talking. But but anyways, and then it sort of stems from like this idea to like feel the need, if you are quote unquote like an outcast, or they label it like a misfit or a dreamer, a need to conform and start doing things like the others around you do. So it's an interesting system. It's something that, I mean, there's tons of studies on stuff like that. But I feel like this is written more from, the outsider perspective. A lot of the times people who like musicians, artists, for example, they don't always engage in the same things as the group does. They're, on a typical Friday night, you might find the group going to a football game at the high school. Whereas they'd rather play in their garage and fine tune instruments and figure some things out. So it's interesting commentary on that, but it also, like I said, it does apply large scale. When if you can kind of strip your mind and consider like the entirety of like, they're Canadian, right? But like we can use, I live in the States, so that's my familiarity. So we could talk about that as like its own giant, sort of subdivision, and there are layers, and there is a hierarchical structure that everybody's striving to be a something. Otherwise, you are an outcast or a misfit. It's really, I could spend days talking about this, but you guys probably don't want to listen. The song's been over for a couple minutes now. But Jesus, 20 minutes. Okay. Let's anyways, that's my the song itself, fire. I love that. I'm gonna listen to that back. Aside from dissecting lyrics, which is something I can't help myself to do, I love everybody's part, the instrumental. Let me know about if I read that wrong, that they're going to be doing shows again, which is wild to me, and I would love to figure that out. I don't know if a schedule's been posted or whatnot, if that is true, but go support Rush, go like, go subscribe, please. Love to have you guys here as well. Make sure you like, comment, make sure you're subscribed. Appreciate it very much. It does help the channel. And we're going to keep it moving. We'll talk to you in the next.